After having a conversation with his father, Ayanokoji made his way back into the exam room. Just as he was re-entering, the buzzer sounded, signaling the end of the test. All at once, the children placed their pens on their desks. However, there was one boy still frantically trying to finish his test, breathing hard and sobbing. At this time, he was grabbed by the instructors, forcefully removed from the project. Ayanokoji stated that this wasn't unusual, meaning this was quite a common occurrence. The boy's reaction is described in great detail. What their reaction symbolized was the children's fear of the unknown. Something that's not touched on very much throughout the novel is why the children are so afraid of dropping out. Originally, one might have thought that they'd be broken, even killed. However, there is no reference to punishing the children aside from forcing them to leave. What this means is that there is not necessarily something terrifying waiting for them, like torture or the like. It's more that the children, who've spent their entire lives in the harsh environment that is the White Room, are scared of being taken out of their home. They've never experienced what it's like, and thus they only contain the human fear of the unknown. If anything, the most talented students of the White Room are those who are capable of realizing that the outside world might not be as scary as it seems. They are capable of surpassing this natural fear. At this point, Ayanokoji reveals that in this particular curriculum, you could get any number of points and still not drop out. There was never a cutoff in the first place. Only when you cried and admitted defeat were you expelled. He then goes to state that, if they can't even recognize that, it's inevitable that they'll drop out. In the next chapter, Ayanokoji begins by stating that I had no likes or dislikes. He continues, adding that it not only applied to food, the curriculum was no different as well: music, calligraphy, tea ceremony, and other cultural pursuits. However, in the next paragraph, almost like an old man, he goes to talk about how he doesn't like the virtual reality program in the newly altered curriculum. There's a bit of discussion about the logistics of it, but there's nothing especially interesting to note. The next event is something quite special, however. One by one, the children are invited into a private room. There were no other children in the room, only the instructor. In the center was a small table and 2 pipe chairs. We learn about the activity from Ayanokoji's perspective. The instructor held 5 cards and placed them on the table. Each card had a different symbol on it. From left to right, it showed a circle, cross, square, star, and wave. At the beginning, it seemed completely luck-based. It was simply to guess the symbol on the card. Repeating it many times, Ayanokoji wonders what the real point of the test was. He notices that it obviously wasn't an attempt to develop psychic powers, neither was it something to train intuition. Pondering rationally, he observed the instructor's shuffling technique, trying to deduce the purpose of the activity. Slowly, after several cycles, Ayanokoji finally figured out the rule. At this moment, the instructor found out that not only is Ayanokoji incredibly intelligent, but he also has a perfect memory. A moment later, he was told that he was the first one to pass the curriculum in one shot. After that, we're given some exposition as to the facilities within the White Room itself. It was said that the different rooms were dedicated to different curriculums. One of them was a heated swimming pool where one could swim all year round. Ayanokoji goes to state that swimming was considered to play a very important role in developing physical skills, elaborating on its numerous benefits. In another interaction with Yuki, Ayanokoji talks about how, just until a few weeks ago, Yuki was the fastest swimmer, regardless of how she swam. However, ever since she was overtaken by him, the gap between them has only been widening. In this scene, Ayanokoji points out a small issue with Yuki's swimming technique. He then goes to state that the swimming instructors probably didn't point out everything, leaving some parts for the children to figure out themselves. He goes to talk about how whilst many students struggled to master the fundamentals, Yuki and Shiro often got good results the first time. This specific statement just adds to the idea that Ayanokoji's only real genetic or epigenetic advantage is his overwhelming persistence, dedication, and intelligence. There were other children like Yuki or Shiro who likely fell more closely toward the side of being a natural genius, capable of doing many things in the first try. In the next scene, Ayanokoji has a small conversation with Yuki. Do you still need something? Is it strange for me to speak with you without purpose? Yeah, it's weird. Normally you'd talk to me if you needed something. You're the same as always. In a somewhat mundane exchange, Ayanokoji emphasizes his pragmatic nature, simultaneously developing Yuki's character. One of her most fatal flaws, at least in regard to the White Room, was that she was not someone who acted with perfect efficiency. Sometime in the future, this would be the deciding factor between whether she was stayed or was expelled. With desire to interact, play, and laugh, she wasn't capable of performing optimally. This eventually undermined her gift. However, as a result of her playful nature, she was also a lot better than Ayanokoji at socializing. Even Ayanokoji himself wondered why she was so good at conversing. In the end, he looked at her, trying to smile. However, he found he wasn't capable of doing so. Almost as a sign of foreshadowing, there was the implication that people smile at those they like. In a subtle way, it was saying that Ayanokoji had not yet found someone worthy of smiling at.